I am honored to be the host of the Ask Doc Live program, where each and every Friday. What do you mean, no?
You're the hostess. You're not the host.
I'm the hostess. Yes. Thank you, Doc. I am honored to be the hostess of the Ask Doc Live show, where each and every week we bring to you information that can be used to change lives. Your life, the life of your loved ones, the lives of those in your community. And these are things that you can do on your own. You do not have to have a prescription. You do not have to, well, okay, I can't say that. FDA prevents me from being able to say specific things. But I love the fact that we still have our freedoms where we can make choice and be our own authority. And in this program, if you are here live with us, make sure that you have that chat option open so you can see all the helpful and useful information that my co-hosts will be posting in there. And my co-hosts that I have with me today are Nasima Omar, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Heather Bowen, and Dr. Judy Reynolds. And we're here as a service. So we want to make sure people have the resources available in order to make wise decisions on what they can do more naturally in their health to get away from or stay away from the things that are chemical in nature that the body wasn't made from. So we're giving the body what it needs to be able to thrive, not just survive. So it is a new meeting address. I'm glad that those of you who are on with us found us. So welcome, welcome. Now, the doctor that we host each and every week, he has over 100 publications in medical journals and books, and not just medical journals, but there's so many places that your information, Dr. Wallach, has been published that it adds more and more credibility to the information that we are sharing with you today. There's a lot of misinformation out there, folks, and really check the credentials of the information that you're looking at. Not everything that you see on a square that boasts the positives and negatives of something are complete. I'm not saying that they're all wrong, but they're not all complete. So we want to make sure that we're giving information that is more complete in its nature so that it is of best use to you. Now, if you are invited to this program by somebody specific, please get back with that person that invited you to this program. They took the time and valued you as an individual to share this information with you. Probably because it's been pretty life-changing for them. And we invite you to feel the difference as well. Now, as I mentioned, Dr. Wallach, Dr. Joel Wallach, he has a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. He is a doctor of veterinary medicine who has done research around the world. It's not just classroom experience that he takes to a little clinic in some small Missouri town. This is information that has been collected around the world with his research and in zoos around the world, not just with domestic animals, but animals of all shapes, sizes, blood types, just everything. And he, like most scientists, have taken this information from animals, and he has done some extensive work in comparing it with that of humans. Like over 30,000 autopsies, folks. Do you know how many data points they look at in a single autopsy? And then he's done some comparative pathology and really looked at how the animal world relates to the human world. And I'm excited that through his books and through his availability, we can bring that information to you so that you also can make wise decisions in helping yourself obtain optimal health. Now, Dr. Joel Wallach, welcome to Ask Doc Daily.
Well, thank you so much. Is this Ask Doc Daily or Ask Doc Live?
Oh, this is Ask Doc Live. Oh my goodness, folks. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Wallach and I also have a program called Ask Doc Daily that we do daily. So
I
we're
suggest
Ask
you
Doc
take
Live.
some Memory FX 3 twice a day, along with your other nutrients.
Memory FX, got it. I've already got the de-stress. So we've got that 2 twice a day.
Okay.
Yes, and SMART.
Well,
SMART.
thank you so
Both of them.
much for the kind introduction. And of course, my thesis on 20,000 autopsies is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. I'm very, very proud of that. And because it showed that there were no genetically transmitted diseases. Now, that's very profound when you think about it. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no autoimmune diseases. And the thesis, brand new in the box, was published as a textbook by W.B. Saunders, the biggest medical textbook publishing house in the world. They sell for $25,000 each. I don't expect everybody to do that, but we do have a summary of that thesis. It's called Epigenetics, the Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. Okay. And epigenetics really goes through so many things. There you go. You got it. And then to kind of bring that to the street, if you will, to where everybody can utilize this information. One of the books that was written some years ago is called Prepare. Okay, now that's a picture of me when I was in the military. I was in the military for 27 years. Okay, I was a pretty bad boy when I was in the military. Okay? I went all over the world for the U.S. government. I probably went to at least 25 different countries, and it was a battle fronts in every country and their wars. Even though we weren't maybe in the war, they sent me there to deal with things. And so in this book, Prepare, there's 14 chapters. And of course, the subtitle is A Prepper's Survival Bible. A Prepper's Survival Bible. This talks not only about how to survive, a shooting war, that kind of thing, but also how to survive a war against the environment, a war against bad food and so forth. All this is in here. And I urge everybody to get this as a gift for the people they love, okay? Prepare. Because this information, okay, can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life and save you from very bad experiences. Now, with that said,
Dr. Wallach,
yes.
Dr. Judy was holding up her version of Prepare, and I don't know if you saw it. She's got tabs all over the place as she's gone through the book. And I know she uses a highlighter and pencil and writes in the margins.
Yeah, and Judy, did you find things useful, on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. And here's something else I discovered, Dr. Wallach. I already had this book, God Bless America.
Yep.
So this was a previous version because I had already highlighted this one and gone through it. And then when I started going through the other one, it was like, oh, this looks familiar. So I have them both.
Thank you. Yeah. And of course,
yes.
Information is power. Information is power. And also, let's see here. It's one of those things where the book Hell's Kitchen tells you why we're in trouble. The book Hell's Kitchen tells you why we're in trouble, okay? It goes through the transition from wood stoves and coal stoves, okay, and wood furnaces and coal furnaces and fireplaces and that sort of stuff, and just fire pits. Over the thousands and thousands and thousands of years we use wood and coal as fuel, to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City in the bluff overlooking the construction of Brooklyn Bridge when we switched over to electricity. Now, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we used wood ashes and coal ashes as fertilizer in our gardens and also as a supplement, okay, nutritional supplement. And wood ashes and coal ashes are 95% minerals that are left when you burn the carbon in the fuel, and 2 or 3% carbon, okay? Now, once we went to electricity, that was all gone. This is a huge transition, taking our source of vitamin mineral supplements for thousands and thousands and thousands of years going away. And it gets worse because when they switched to hydroelectric plants, instead of just using the windmills, which had limited capacity to make electricity, they came up with the idea of the hydroelectric dams. And everybody was so excited because it stopped the flooding. They didn't have the spring floods anymore. Well, the spring floods would bring the silt from the mountains, okay, and flood the farms and the cities and so forth. And then after a couple of weeks or a month or so, all the water would recede and leave all that silt, okay, in the fields, and the farmers would plow that silt back into the fields and renew the fields every year with those minerals that the plants had sucked out the previous year, okay, during the plant's growth. Well, by 1930, we were in trouble. By 1930, we were in big doo-doo, okay? Even the United States Senate came out with U.S. Senate Document 264 in 1936 and said, our American farm soils no longer have sufficient minerals in the soil to support healthy and long life for humans. The United States said that in 1936, and that's when they came out with commercial fertilizer. Prior to that, they were using manure and compost and all this kind of stuff, and also, using the silt from the spring floods. And then once that was all gone, suddenly now they had to come out with a commercial fertilizer because nothing would grow without something. And plants only need three minerals. Plants only need three minerals to grow and make good seeds for the next generation. We need 60 minerals. And of course, one of the things that I'm really, really excited about, of course, is our Rebound. And people say, why are you talking so much about Rebound? Well, Rebound has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals, and 25 vitamins, amino acids. We have the canister with powder, 36 servings. We have the box with 30 sticks. We have the cans, 12-ounce cans. The only sort of issue I have with the cans, which I drink 2 of a day, I pop the tops on them at night before I go to sleep, put them in the refrigerator so they off-gas the carbonation. And so they said, well, why don't you just get rid of the carbonation? And well, because Red Bull is carbonated, and they're the biggest carbonation, okay, which it's hazardous, but people like it, just like alcohol can be potentially hazardous, but people like it, okay. So we keep the carbonation in the cans, but I off-gas it before I drink them, pop them and put them in the refrigerator. I drink them the next day. But you think about it, Red Bull has one mineral. Repeat that, Red Bull has one mineral, magnesium. We have 75 minerals. That's a big difference, 75 versus 1. Now, why did one of the greatest fitness gurus, okay, Bruce Lee, why did he die at 32? I spent 2 weeks going through all his interviews with newspapers and magazines and radios and TVs. I mean, I was working 20 to 24 hours a day for 2 weeks, okay? Because when he died in 1973 at age 32, he died at age 32. The doctors said, we don't know why he died, okay? And then, let's see here, 49 years later, just a couple of months ago, they came out and said, doctors said, we finally figured out why Bruce Lee died. He died of drinking too much water. Well, I knew that was junk. And so that's why I spent the 2 weeks going through all his interviews. But that was the question that people asked. What did you eat? What did you avoid? And all this kind of stuff. What did you supplement with? The only supplement he took was magnesium. I'm assuming he had muscle cramps, so he took magnesium, which would relieve muscle cramps. And that's why when Red Bull came out, they only put magnesium in the Red Bull because they were following Bruce Lee's, what should I say, his legacy, because he was considered the fitness guru in the world. Okay. Now comes, there's a new bull in town. Okay. There's a new bull in town. And there's 3 CDs in here. One, many of you have heard before. Dead athletes don't lie. It's kind of like dead doctors don't lie, right? And then the second one, many of you have heard, but not everybody, is exercise without some temptation of suicide. And then the third CD in there, many people have not heard. Okay, it was a lecture I gave up in Canada, and 50% of the people in the audience were Canadian, 50% of the people were American. There were like 2,000 people in there. And this third CD, okay, What Kills Billionaires, goes into athletics as well as rich people's lifestyles and habits. Okay, now I want everybody when they get this set, okay, they're available now. You can go to www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com, and get the set. They're all done, ready to go. And the one that I want you to listen to first is what kills billionaires. According to the U.S. government, the life expectancy of billionaires in America is 66.7. Billionaires' life expectancy, and Rebecca and I have long discussions about this. You know, is their information accurate? And blah 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 blah. And do they include all age groups and so forth? Is this worldwide? Is this just America? And so forth. So we're kind of looking into that. But this is what it said. Okay, you can ask Siri. Okay, you know, what is the life expectancy of billionaires in America? And they'll say, Siri says 66.7. Okay, and so that's what Siri says. Now you have to appreciate that billionaires can afford the best medicine, they can afford the best doctors, they can afford the best surgery, they can afford the best food, they can afford the best everything, the best coaches, the best memberships in fitness centers and gymnasiums and so forth. So why would they have a lower life expectancy than the general population? Well, that's because when you're a billionaire, you get to do what you want. And when they go out to eat, they can spend $200, and many of them do. They'll spend $200 for a meal for each person in their party, okay? And so it's one of those things where, you know, I don't have to supplement, I eat well. They have this fallacy that you can, you know, that old, you know, what they say, thing, eat well, you get everything you need. And then they came out with the 4 food groups. Even you ask the doctor, what about this 4 food group thing? Well, if you eat the 4 food groups, you're going to be guaranteed to get everything you need. That's not true. Okay. Well, what about the 7 food group pyramid? That's not true either. Okay. Okay. And so what's going on with the, let's see here, all these various diets they have. All right. The low calorie diet. And then let's see here. What's some of your favorite diets, Rebecca, that the billionaires use? Okay.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are going vegan or vegetarian.
Okay, so why is that?
Taking away vital nutrients.
Yeah. So why is a vegan or vegetarian diet not good if you're not supplementing with the 90 essential nutrients? How many minerals can a plant make?
None.
Okay, plants cannot make minerals.
On its own.
Okay, now do nutritional minerals occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth?
No.
No, they occur in veins like gold and silver. And so if you're only supplementing with one mineral because you're drinking Red Bull, you're only supplementing with magnesium, you're drinking Red Bull, which is primarily sugar and caffeine, okay, because it's an energy drink, okay? It was not meant to be a nutritional supplement. Well, our Rebound is an energy drink and a nutritional supplement. It has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals. Red Bull has 1. 75 minerals versus 1. We have 25 vitamins, amino acids versus 4 that's in Red Bull. Okay. Plus we have like 30% less sugar and 75%, I think it is, less caffeine. Okay. Because we're depending on the nutrients for energy and resistance to disease and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I drink my Rebound during the day, but I still take my Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which has 215 nutrients. The core is still the 90. I take 2 servings a day of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and then I drink my Rebound. And so I'm getting the 90 essential nutrients like 3 and 4 times a day. Okay. I'm 83 years old, going on 84. And people freak out because, you know, they say, well, like your energy doesn't look like well, how many prescription drugs are you on? None. I was on prescription antibiotics for 3 days my whole life. That's it. And so when you look at the CD, or not look at it, but listen to the CD, what kills billionaires, it goes into their food choices, their lifestyle choices, okay, their supplement choices and so forth, why they have such a low life expectancy according to those surveys, okay, government surveys. Now, it's one of those things that this information in that CD goes into athletes because, you know, and when you look at it, let's see here, and some of these people that are famous, when you look at, let's see here, Jim Fixx, Okay, he wrote the first major books for the public on the value of exercise. And he died at 56 of a heart attack while he was running a marathon. Right in the middle of the marathon, he drops dead at age 56 from a heart attack. And then what about Steve Jobs, the guy who came up with Apple? He was a vegetarian, a vegan, and that's why he named his company Apple. Okay, an apple a day keeps a doctor away, right? And he dies at 52 from pancreatic cancer. And both those guys were billionaires. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, well, they chose poorly. You've heard that before. They chose poorly. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you're famous. If you choose poorly, you're going to die young. Okay, you could die suddenly. You could, like a Jim Fix, or you could be like Steve Jobs and die miserably after a period of months or years with a terrible abdominal cancer. Okay, and so this is something I want everybody to listen to. It'll blow your mind. If this, I cannot believe that this CD, What Kills Billionaires, won't add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life if you do everything that's in there, because it's designed to talk to billionaires. Okay, but it was my speech that I gave in Canada, and you can hear me because I'm describing the faces in the audience. Because when I'm saying these things, these people are getting petrified. Their mouths are dropping open. Their eyes are going from a normal human eye size to like 5 times the human size. Their eyes are just going crazy because of the information I'm passing on to them that they've never heard before. And so everybody needs to listen at least twice a week, better yet twice a day, to What Kills Billionaires. Okay, you can buy that CD by itself, or better yet, get the set. There's a new bull in town. And I love the fact that I'm getting 4 meals a day, between my Healthy Brain and Heart Pack twice and my Rebound with 100 nutrients. Okay, Rebound has 100 nutrients in it. I'm having that twice a day, and I'm having the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack with 215 nutrients in it twice a day, and I'm avoiding all the bad stuff. So, I'm in pretty good shape for an 83-year-old guy going on 84. Okay, I'm like a rock. I can, do more than most people who are in their teens and 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. And so, try working 28 hours a day, 7 days a week. Oh, no, let me take that back. 28 hours a day, 18 hours a week. No, 18 days a week. Okay. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over. Let's see here. Am I at that point yet? Yeah, I'm going to turn this back over to Rebecca and see if you want to ask me any questions on anything, or if we were going to go to callers.
Yeah, so Dr. Wallach, I want to, and I thank you very much for bringing something up, because there's been many times where people have said, well, Dr. Wallach pushes Rebound so much. Why do I have to take Tangy Tangerine?
Okay. Well, Tangy Tangerine, of course, is kind of like the pre-Rebound, okay? It's one of those things we had to come up with a supplement that had all these nutrients in it, okay? How many supplements in the market have 75 minerals in there and 25 vitamins, amino acids? We're the only ones, okay? And so your busy day, oh gosh, I forgot to bring my Rebound with me. Okay, well, if you took your Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which has 215 nutrients in it, the core is still the 90, okay? And you think of all the famous athletes, okay, whether they're ladies like, let's see, we got our girl who became a All-American, okay, Kelly Heron.
Miss Kelly Heron, yes.
Yeah, she was all broken down. She was, her early 20s. I think she was like 21. She was playing basketball for the University of Tennessee in Tennessee, and she came to one of my meetings in Tennessee, and she was a mess. And I put her on the same program. We put our male basketball players on, okay, and the next season she became one of the few women All-Americans, okay, and this gal's almost 7 foot tall. She's just short of 7 foot tall, okay, but she was missing the nutrients. So just being tall isn't enough to play basketball, okay. You have to have stamina. You have to have agility. You have to have accuracy. You have to have good vision. You have to have stamina. all this kind of stuff. And this is why so many athletes of every sport, boxing, the real deal, okay, Evander Holyfield. This is why we have things going on in the Black community. This is next month is Black History Month, okay? And so I've been invited to be, one of the speakers because in my whole life I've been working with the Black community. I grew up on a farm. All of our employees on the farm were Black, okay? And my dad was a Golden Gloves All-American, okay, boxer.
It's boxing, if you didn't know, folks, that's boxing.
Yeah, boxer, yeah. And so he was world champion, Golden Gloves boxer. And so I was always in the gyms. I was like 2 years old now. I'm in the gymnasiums, giving water to the boxers in their corner, that sort of stuff. But 99% of the boxers I was dealing with were from the Black community. And so I learned a lot. Why was it that the slaves live longer than the plantation owners? I'm going to repeat that. Why is it that the plantation owners died before the slaves died? Okay. Well, the plantation owners wanted to be like Europeans, and they were eating European food, whereas the slaves, they didn't have access. They couldn't afford European food. So they're eating what they grew in their gardens, but they were doing something else that the plantation owners weren't doing. They were eating wood ashes. They were putting them in their gardens to grow their carrots and their potatoes and their beans and onions and so forth. And they were also putting it in their food as a spice because they couldn't afford the spices that the plantation owners could. So it wasn't unusual for the plantation owners to die in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, where the slaves were living to be 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. And that's where you're getting, these stories of these slaves in the plantations, Uncle Remus, who lived to be like 112, 115, sort of thing. Why? It wasn't a genetic thing. It's because they were getting the minerals because they're using the wood ashes in their breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. Okay, whereas the plantation owners were not doing that. And all this is in the book. Let's see here. Black Gene Lies, because I had so many movie actors, Black from the Black community. I have so many people who are in the churches, who are pastors. I have so many people who are politicians in the Black community, okay? And they're coming to me and asking me about this. I said, no, there are no genetic diseases in Black folks, white folks, yellow folks, red folks. There are no genetic diseases. And that's why my thesis, okay, 5,000 pages, 20,000 autopsies, is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure and sells new for $25,000, okay? And so, because I showed there were no genetically transmitted diseases and there are no autoimmune diseases. Doctors made that stuff up when they didn't know the answers. They didn't want to admit ignorance. And so they just said, well, it's your body attacking itself. No. Well, what if I have 5 generations of people in my family with diabetes? Well, that's because they all live in the same county and eat the same way. Well, there you go. And so again, nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins. So I really, whether you're white or Black.
Put the book down, Doc. Put the book down. Put it down. Go ahead and put it down, because whenever you hold it in front of your face, it muffles your voice.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So at any rate, I want everybody to get a hold of those books and spend time, even if you're only reading a couple of paragraphs and discussing them with your family, 1 hour a week or something like that on a Tuesday night or something when nothing else is going on. All right. And then give them a little homework. Say, read this chapter, and then let's all discuss it next week and kind of thing. And these books can add so much information to add so many months and years to your life, and the quality of your life will go way up. And then again, don't forget this one, What Kills Billionaires. I mean, I was so excited. I listened to that again. I had forgotten, okay, that I actually had, let me get this right. Yeah, I had forgotten that I had written books. I had done that CD, What Kills Billionaires, up in Canada, okay? I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was. Oh my gosh. And I went back and I listened to that again the other day. It just blows your mind information I put in there, okay, that dispels the myth about genetics, dispels the myth about being rich is enough to get you to live to be 100. No, being rich can be a negative if you're just saying, well, I'm rich, I can do whatever I want. Okay, no, there's gravity. You can't do whatever you want. There's a need for 90 essential nutrients. It goes into great detail, research, not only my research, but other people's research, all the stuff that's been done to show how much we need those 90 essential nutrients. What kills billionaires? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, and my whole purpose for bringing this up, Dr. Wallach, is Rebound is not a replacement for the 90 essential nutrients.
No.
It is not a replacement for the Healthy Body Pack that includes the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Osteo Effects, and the EFA Plus. I like the Brain and Heart Pack, which you recommend often. But when we're looking at making sure that our body gets exactly what it needs, it's not being reliant on Rebound. Rebound is an extra. It's that secret sauce, especially for those that are very active in sports, athletics, working out.
Rebecca, why did we invent the secret sauces? I mean, you have the Healthy Start Pack, we got the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, we have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Well, why do we have the secret sauces?
Well, they're a response to help correct the deficiency that has already happened.
For a specific disease.
For specific conditions, yes.
Okay, we have secret sauces for diabetes. We have secret sauces for high blood pressure. We have secret sauces for arthritis. We have secret sauces for asthma. We have secret sauces for Alzheimer's disease, MS. We have secret sauces for Parkinson's disease. We have secret sauces for infertility. We have secret sauces for ED. We have secret sauces, okay, for over 600 different conditions.
I don't think you left anything out.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
You're pretty thorough, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, there's another one here. Why did we come up with It's All in Your Head, the book and the CD that you and I did, okay? Why did we come up with It's All in Your Head? There's 37 different diseases you can get, 37 different diseases you can get, okay? We have osteoporosis of the skull. And doctors don't even get taught in medical school that you can get osteoporosis of the skull. They have no conclusion. I'll tell you, one of my favorite ones is, when men are getting up 3, 5, 8, 10 times a night to urinate, doctors say, oh, you have a prostate problem, let's do a biopsy. They do a biopsy. Okay, you don't have cancer, okay, but let's watch it. And, here, take some stuff, we'll see if we can make your prostate gland happy, blah, blah, blah. But what about women? Women also get up 3, 5, 8, 10 times a night to urinate. They don't have prostate glands. Women don't have prostate glands, so what's the problem? And so that's when I started looking into what was going on here. And what's going on when you're getting up at night 3, 5, 8, 10 times a night, it's because your skull is squeezing the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is telling your urinary bladder to urinate, whether you're a male or a female. And so that got me looking into the osteoporosis of the skull and the 37 different diseases you can get. Doctors will say, well, yeah, my brother, he's a dentist. Okay, so, and you have receding gums. I'm going to refer to my brother, who's a dentist. Oh, I have a brother who's an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and you have a hearing problem and balance problems. I'm going to send you to my brother, who is an ear, throat, and nose doctor. He'll give you a hearing aid and a walker and so forth. But this is because the skull is squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Okay. There's 37 different diseases you can get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. I'll quickly run through them if I may, Becca, okay?
Yeah, and I'm holding up here what it looks like. This is what the brain is supposed to look like. This white line, that's the skull. See how there's some air in there, and you can see the definition of the brain. And then whenever the skull thickens with the osteoporosis of the skull, it squeezes everything. And then you wonder, well, why can't I think clearly? Why are things just not working within the body? Well,
yeah, and that's
Dr.
on page
Wallach
6.
figured it out.
That's on page 6 of the book. It's All in Your Head.
Yes.
It's on page 6 of the book. It's All in Your Head. You see those 2 pictures. Very good. Okay. When the first cranial nerve, okay, the olfactory nerve is being squeezed, you get loss of the sense of smell. Second cranial nerve being squeezed, optic nerve, you get gradual loss of vision. The doctors say, well, you're getting old, you're losing your vision. We got to do this operation, and so on. You have ONA, optic nerve atrophy. also the optic nerve artery and optic nerve vein. Cranial nerve number 3 gets squeezed, you get ptosis, and your pupil does not respond to light. Okay, and doctors want to do surgery there. And then the 4th cranial nerve getting squeezed, you get double vision. 5th cranial nerve, you get trigeminal neuralgia. I mean, this is one of the most painful headaches there is trigeminal neuralgia, because the 5th cranial nerve is being squeezed by the skull. Double vision is when you have your 6th cranial nerve being squeezed. Bell's palsy, one side of your face droops. Ask a doctor what causes Bell's palsy. And they don't know, but it's caused by your skull squeezing the 7th cranial nerve. It could be one side at a time or both sides. Okay. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, deafness, vertigo, dizziness. It's your skull squeezing the 8th cranial nerve. And then the 9th cranial nerve being squeezed, you lose your gag reflex, your ability to swallow easily, your voice changes, you lose your sense of taste. And then 10th cranial nerve being squeezed, you get gastroparesis, I mean stomach pain that'll bring you to your knees, and doctors say, oh, you have a stomach ulcer. You also have hiccups, because a branch of that 10th cranial nerve is being squeezed, and it goes to your diaphragm. And then AFib, atrial fibrillation, has nothing to do with your heart, but it squeezes the nerves going to your heart, and that actually causes your heart to beat irregularly, and your doctors want to anesthetize you, take your heart out of your chest, and give you an ablation, which is putting a hot branding iron on your heart and killing part of your heart muscle. Don't do that. It has the highest death rate of any medical procedure. And then cranial nerve number 11, when it's getting squeezed, you can't lift your arms above your head because it controls the trapezius muscles. And then when the 12th cranial nerve gets squeezed, you get atrophy of the tongue, the speech. And when you have your 9th cranial nerve and your 12th cranial nerve being squeezed, you can't communicate. And then when your spinal cord is being squeezed, there's 17 of those 37 different diseases that occur because your spinal cord is being squeezed by your skull. And so doctors had no earthly idea about that. Getting up at night 3, 5, 8, 10 times a night, whether you're a girl or a boy, doesn't matter. And doesn't matter age. Okay, you're going to have getting up at night to urinate so many times. And so we've renamed this Wallach's fibrosis, because the spinal cord is being squeezed because you have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, Wallach's fibrosis causing all that. And so these are things, all of these 37 different diseases can go away when you deal with the osteoporosis of the skull. And I mean, Rebecca, you've been working with me for a long time, and you're a health coach, and you've seen so many of these issues that we're talking about here. Have you seen any of them get better?
Well, it started with me. So yeah, I've seen it, I've felt it, and I'm just one of many that I've worked with.
And you've experienced it.
And I've experienced it firsthand. That's why I'm here today, Dr. Wallach. I wouldn't do anything I don't believe in. There's been a lot of things that I've started, but when I find that I can't believe in it, I can't stand behind it, I don't. So that's why I'm here today, Dr. Wallach.
And we appreciate you because you are one of God's angels. You definitely plow into this, and you are, I love it, the fact that you are a detective and you are going to make sure that everything is right. When you pass on information, you have made triple sure that everything is right. And so I'm very, very proud of you for that. And that's why
he says he's proud, but I frustrate people when he and I are going through and talking about different conditions, and he's bringing up things Siri. It gives the results. I'm like, okay, doc, what year was that? What are the date ranges that those dates are, that number's pulled from? Who's reporting it? Because I want all of those facts. I don't want to just what somebody programmed in for Siri to tell him or tell us. We want to make sure that we are using reputable information to pass along. It's like, I'm a fact checker. I am into statistics. I'm a numbers person. I love charts. So I want to make sure that when I'm looking at something, it makes sense and the information has not been scrubbed to present somebody's narrative.
Yeah, well, that's why we're working on what kills billionaires right now. Okay, we're trying to really get into why is it that billionaires have a rough time? They have all the money in the world. They can afford the best doctors. They can afford the best memberships in gymnasiums and coaches and all that kind of stuff. They can eat the best food. They get the best medication. They go anywhere in the world for the treatment for something. And yet, as a group, they don't live as long, according to, what's being said right now by the medical groups. Okay. And Siri. Okay. And then Siri says that billionaires in America, their life expectancy up until a couple of days ago was 66.7. Now it's 66. Okay. It's dropping. Okay. They're dying younger, billionaires. Why is that? Okay. Well, they can get the best food, they can get the best medicine, they belong to the best gyms, they get the best personal coaches and trainers. What is the problem here? Well, that's because they get on the newest thing. Oh, I'm going to be on the 4 food group diet. I don't need to take vitamins and minerals because I'm on the 4 food group diet. I don't need to take vitamins and minerals because I exercise. Oh, I'm going to, do the low fat diet. I'm going to do the carbohydrate diet. I'm going to do this diet. That's the way billionaires work. Okay. And so it's one of those things where they do it to themselves, because when you listen to that CD, What Kills Billionaires, we go into the research of why everybody, regardless of what diet program you choose, you better be taking the 90 essential nutrients, because nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. And the beginning of our life expectancy and our health demise started when we switched from wood as fuel to electricity. And when we went to hydroelectric dams, human health just did a downward spiral. And it all comes down to when we cut out our mineral source in our food. Plants only need 3 minerals, we need 60. So you can have the most beautiful looking stuff and they're organic. Organic just means no chemicals. Organic doesn't mean anything about the nutritional value of the food. Organic doesn't mean anything about the nutritional value of the food. Organic just means no chemicals. And people think, oh, it's organic. They think it's more nutritious. No.
Yeah, definitely not more nutritious, for sure. I mean, yes, it's less toxic, but not more nutritious.
There you go. So you need to follow both paths. You want less toxicity, you want more nutrition.
Definitely, because epigenetics, what has that done? That's proven that what we put in our mouths, what we have in our environment, makes how our body works, positive and negative. And it's the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. So,
not the new one on the block, but it's just recently I've been showing this to people. I've kind of been so busy with other things, I really haven't, what should I say, advanced this book to the point where it really can help so many people. 14 chapters, okay, the Prepper's Survival Bible. It's the Prepper's Survival Bible. It goes into the nutrition, goes into the toxicity, goes into exercise, goes into pollution. I mean, we're talking about the whole thing. And this is a picture of me. This is my picture out in the field on a battlefield, okay? I did this for 27 years. Okay, and of course, I was a Boy Scout. I was an Eagle Scout. And that's why they advanced me so much, because I had so many merit badges and first aid and everything like that. And I knew more than their field medics did as a Eagle Scout and Order of the Arrow Boy Scout. And of course, what is the motto of the Boy Scouts, Rebecca? Be prepared.
ask me about 4-H and I can tell you.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
That's the motto of the Boy Scouts, be prepared. So that's why I named this book Prepare.
Prepare. Awesome. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's get to some questions that we have before we take our break here in 15 minutes. And we have the first question that came up in the chat. And for those of you who are on with us live, you can write your questions in the chat. You can raise your virtual hand. Don't do this, but raise your virtual hand and I'll see your hand here on my screen. And we'll be coming to those with their hands up in the order that they were raised. But the first question that came up, Dr. Wallach, in the chat is, What products can a pregnant 24-year-old take to fight GBS, which is Group B strep, so they can avoid and require antibiotics when the baby is born?
Okay. Well, I would be doing, let's see, I have to check it and double check it, but I would think colloidal silver. Okay. I would be thinking colloidal silver. I'll have to check that out. But think about that. This was our antibiotics of the times for thousands of years before penicillin came along in 1936. Okay. And when penicillin came along, doctors loved penicillin because you needed a prescription. You had to pay for an office call and all this kind of stuff. And so doctors gravitated to the penicillin. The penicillin was only good against gram-positive bacteria, like Staphylococcus and Streptococcus. That's it. Whereas colloidal silver is good against everything, including the COVID virus. And so I do the colloidal silver. Okay, I do Young Jody's colloidal silver. I do 2 droppers full under my tongue, 30 minutes before each meal. 2 droppers full under my tongue, 30 minutes before bedtime. And so that's why, I meet so many people and they're shaking hands and they come and they visit me and they come see me and they don't wear their mask and all this kind of stuff. And so they're not thinking straight. And so I have to protect myself. So I'm doing the colloidal silver. And I've never heard of any birth defect being caused by women using colloidal silver. I've never heard of any women losing a pregnancy, having a loss of a pregnancy because of using colloidal silver. But I would start out low, use just a few drops of colloidal silver under the tongue. And that's going to help you fend off bugs, including COVID-19, which is virus.
A few drops or dropper fulls, Dr. Wallach?
I start out with a few drops. Give me a couple of weeks to do some research and everything like that. But I have never seen anything where there's any warnings about do not use during pregnancy, or this has caused a spontaneous abortion of a pregnancy or something like that. I've never read or seen or heard anything like that. But, let me double check it out. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And we have a couple other things that can be used for that condition, but not while pregnant. So we want to make sure that we are giving information that is not misleading, that's not going to have any type of
always
negative response.
You want your bone marrow to be happy and healthy. And so this is why you need the MSM, okay? Because MSM helps you build your bone marrow. Your bone marrow makes white blood cells, which is your infantry, right? And it goes and kills viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. And then, of course, the collagen peptides that also helps you with your bone marrow, your white blood cells, your stem cells that make antibodies, and red blood cells and platelets and all that kind of stuff. And so, people say, well, I eat well, but are you getting these 90 essential nutrients that's going to make your bone marrow as effective as it can be in making all the things that are going to protect you against the bugs, white blood cells. And, there's so many people, including you. I mean, you're the sort of anti-vaccination person because you see all these people that they're pointing to their finger saying, well, they died because they were vaccinated. Okay. Well, it's still up in the air whether that's true or not, but there is a correlation. Okay. And I don't know if it's just numbers or what's going on, but we'll find out. And it's one of those things where you do have to pay attention to what you're eating. Stay away from the bad stuff. Maximize absorption. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats, no buckwheat, no sugar. And I used to think buckwheat was good. And they're even putting on buckwheat labels on boxes and bags. No gluten, gluten-free, which is true. But buckwheat has phagopyrines in it, which are worse than gluten.
Well, and just so people understand, kind of what phagopyrines do, if you've ever experienced poison oak, poison ivy, and then you're eating that, it has a similar reaction when it comes in contact with the digestive system. If you were to take buckwheat, the plant, and rub it on your skin, I mean, horses have experienced this. They get outbreaks, inflammation, redness, sores. So think about it. That those chemicals are going into your digestive system. So it's causing that inflammation and damage within the digestive system as well. But like Dr. Wallach said, it's gluten-free. And I used to eat buckwheat for breakfast. I mean, that was the healthy thing to do, that and oatmeal.
No, we did when I was a kid too.
Yeah. And since I've stopped, I don't have the bloating. I don't have the pain, the digestive issues that I had for 45 years.
Yeah, well, that's why I had, let's see here. I had Tourette syndrome for 5 years when I was a kid. 20 doctors couldn't figure it out. That's because I was eating buckwheat and gluten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as a kid, kind of like Bruce Lee. But thank goodness I figured it out when I was 9, because I started eating the alfalfa pellets that we gave to calves that were fortified with vitamins and minerals. So it wasn't just the alfalfa, but the alfalfa didn't have any buckwheat in it, didn't have any gluten in it, but they were also fortified with all the vitamins and minerals. So I'm getting this getting away from all the bad stuff and doing all the good stuff. And I healed myself in 3 days after 5 years, and 20 different doctors couldn't fix me.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, doctors can't fix you. But your body can do some amazing stuff when it's given the right stuff. Well, Dr. Wallach, so let's go over kind of a full protocol that you would recommend for somebody who is pregnant and dealing with a strep type bacteria, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, again, there's choices here. When you're looking at external stuff, you can use our colloidal silver. You can take it internally. You can there's no alcohol in our colloidal silver, so you can put it on an open wound, okay, that's infected, or before it gets infected, you can put the colloidal silver in an open wound, because it's just like water. It looks like water, tastes like water, smells like water, has no alcohol in it, has no burning effect. Now, our hand sanitizer has alcohol in it. You don't want to use that in an open wound. But also, again, you want to support your bone marrow. You want to support your immune system, because your own immune system will kill the bugs, okay, from the inside. And that's one of the safest things, one of the best things for the embryo, okay, is take the 90 essential nutrients. And again, I urge people to, get a hold of the book Prepare, get a hold of the book Epigenetics, get a hold of the book Hell's Kitchen, get a hold, if you're in the Black community, get a hold of, if you're in the white community too, get a hold of the book Black Gene Lies, and so forth. Get a hold of the book, let's see here, what's another one?
Well, there's so many books, Dr. Wallach.
Immortality.
Yeah, so many books. And I love the fact that drjwallach.com has all your books. And the new website that is getting ready to launch and be at the same location will have bundles that you can buy. And it's like, okay, Dr. Wallach has these different bundles that he recommends: the trilogy of books, the quartet of books, the health coach bundle. You'll be able just to click on one and it orders them, and it gives you a little bit of a savings as well. So I'm excited to be able to offer that for sure.
Can't thank you enough, because we are going to save more and more people. And of course, we want America and our associates and affiliates and people who we work with all over the world to get this information and live better, live longer, pass on the information to their families and children and their faith mates, regardless of what faith you're in. Okay. We want you to pass on this information. And of course, this is one of the things that religion did, was get people gathered together and they could share information, okay? And whenever there was somebody who was given information by the good Lord, okay, like Moses and Jesus and those kinds of people, and they were given information. And we have a book coming out on that one too. It's called The Third Testament. We're in the final stages of getting that one published also, The Third Testament. And of course, it gives a highlight of the Old Testament. It gives a highlight of the New Testament. Remember, the Old Testament was 3,500 years ago, and the New Testament was 2,000 years ago. So I figured it was about time to update the things that the good Lord has given us since 2,000 years ago. Okay. And so this is not to take away from the Old Testament. This is not to take away from the New Testament. But this is, and I've learned that as new information comes along, you have to keep adding to the body of information. You have to keep adding to the library. Okay. Don't take away anything. You just keep adding to. And so this book, the Third Testament, is going to be adding to the Old Testament, be adding to the New Testament. And we can sell them as a bundle, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Third Testament, or we can sell them individually as people want. And this is so near and dear to my heart. And I don't know, I don't think you've seen a draft of the Third Testament yet, Rebecca. I don't think you've seen a draft of that.
Yes, I have, Dr. Wallach. I have
Okay.
read it in its
Okay.
entirety, and I see it as being just a continuation, using today's technology to look at the clues of the past and not, so
It's
from
not
my
replacing.
faith, it's
It's not
not
replacing.
adding to, it's not replacing, it's a continuation.
There you go. And so we're going to give the good Lord, as we do in the book, all the credit, and we're just the messengers. We're not taking the credit. We're just, if we're going to take credit, we're God's, for some reason, has enlightened us to give the information in a form which everybody has access to. And I'm very, very excited about that. And then we have the Wallach Revolution coming out, which is something you're involved with the health coaches and this big group of people, including lawyers, and everybody came out with this book, the Wallach Revolution. I'm excited about that. We're down in the final stages on that one. Okay.
And yeah, so we are on the final stages, and I'm holding up the old book.
The first edition.
This is the first edition, the unauthorized, which is going to be the authorized biography of Dr. Joel Wallach. And we have some valuable information that we're adding to it also in the back of the book, plus giving just Doc's approval on it and his thankfulness and gratitude for the Citizens Community for Better Health who have put this together. So
and here's another
lots
one.
of great things.
We have a new issue of the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. We have 50 new pages in there with all these new recipes that are gluten-free. And people are buying it like crazy, okay?
Yeah, so, well, they're buying the current cookbook like crazy, Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
We don't have the new one, but it's coming.
Yeah.
And it's actually at the publishers now. So
you're looking at days.
Looking at printing in days, yes, for sure. Well, Dr. Wallach, it's break time. I don't know about you, but I need a drink. I want some minerals. So let's go ahead and take a quick little break.
You weren't going for a whiskey sour.
Well, it's the same color, but no.
Looks like Z Radical.
No, not doing Z Radical right now either. I've got my tea and I add a splash of minerals in there. So I'm good. I'm doing keto and I'm staying on target. I've actually lost 9 pounds since last Sunday, Dr. Wallach. So
I'm very proud
love
of you.
our Keto 90 Kickstart program.
You're the only person that I've ever seen who looks fabulous, who every day looks more fabulous.
You are so sweet. Let's go to a break, everybody. You are watching Ask Doc Live. This program is sponsored by AskDocLive.com, and we are excited to be able to bring this information to you each and every day. If you are watching a replay of this program, make sure that you get back with the person that shared it with you. Or if you found it on your own, you can go to our website, AskDocLive.com, and click Contact Us, and we'll get you in contact with one of our certified holistic health coaches that can assist you in making sure that you are getting exactly what you need to reach your optimal health goals. If you were shared this program by somebody specific, I can't iterate it enough. Get back with the person that shared this program with you. We are a resource for a community of some amazing people that have just a heart for others in wanting to make sure that they're getting the information that they can personally use on a nutritional level to create a better by the minute life. We will be right back on Ask Doc Live. All right, welcome back. I love how we're able to gather together no matter where we're at and get information and communicate. We have lots of questions that have come in on the chat. We've got a couple hands up. We will be getting to the first hand that is up as soon as Dr. Wallach gets back from his little break. And for those of you who are coming with us or here with us, and if you have a question, please raise your virtual hand. Go to the reactions in the Zoom menu, and you will find that little button to push that says raise hand. And we will do our very best to get through all of the questions that have come in today. If you were invited by an email because you're part of our newsletter subscriber base, feel free. If you do not have a longevity associate that you are working with or a longevity health coach, go ahead and do a reply to that email. One of our certified holistic health coaches will get back with you. Please note, I love technology, especially when it works. And when your domain provider and your email provider make changes and then all the connections don't work. We have had a little bit of issue with our emailing system, but I think it's all complete and everything is going through and coming back to us as it should. So if you've submitted questions in the past and you did not get a response, we greatly apologize for that, but we do have a team that are working on getting responses to those emails from those who are part of our subscriber base. If you would like to be part of our subscription followers, our Ask Doc Live followers, our Critical Health News followers, please go to AskDocLive.com or criticalhealthnews.com and sign up for our newsletter. When you sign up, you also get an email with the good foods, bad foods list so that you can have right there in print what are the bad foods that you want to stay away from and what are the good foods that you want to increase in your daily diet. So it starts with that, folks. Getting rid of the bad foods, increasing the good foods, and adding the 90 essential nutrients that the body was made from, and it's like gas. If you don't put gas in your car or oil in your car, it's not going to continue to run at its optimal best. That's how our bodies are as well. So we put a lot of stress on our bodies. We need to make sure that we are treating ourselves with care and giving it more than just calories, because the body's not deficient in calories in most cases. It is deficient in nutrients. So as soon as Dr. Wallach is back with us, and I see lots of hands popped up. Awesome. We will be getting these questions. So let me go ahead and there he is. You are back. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to the first hand that is up.
Okay.
And we have Rob. Rob, go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to come on camera. Oh, I see you don't have a camera attached. So go
Yeah, I
ahead,
don't have my
Rob.
camera attached. Sorry about that. I've been busy day. Oh, Becca, the hostess with the mostest. How are you today?
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Okay. Doc, I had a brief discussion with Priscilla Presley. Her daughter, Lisa Marie, passed away last night. Cardiac arrest. I'll have to speak to you in private about that. I'll give you a call later on, or talk to you and Charmy about that. I actually had a question for Becca as well too. Can you tell me the difference between disease and dis-ease? Which theory do you prefer to use with longevity products?
Okay, well, we have several actions here. Number one, you want to prevent diseases. You want to promote healthy growth and maintenance. So you want to prevent disease, okay? Then also, when somebody comes to you with disease, you want to support the body's ability to maintain itself and then repair the diseased tissues and replace the dead tissues and so forth. So you got 2 or 3 or 4 things going on at the same time. And each thing has a different requirement, okay? And so that's why people say, well, why do you have a nutritional program with 215 nutrients in it? Well, because the body needs a lot of stuff to maintain itself and repair itself. And then we have, as we said earlier in the program, we have these secret sauces. In addition to the 90 essential nutrients, which contain all the nutrients we need to maintain ourselves and grow and all that kind of stuff. But then if you have a disease, say like diabetes, we came up with an extra program. Okay, it's called Sweeties, which is the specific nutrients that are missing when you have diabetes. There are no genetic cases of diabetes. Diabetes is all a nutritional deficiency. And of course, that's why this book it should be in every family's household.
Yeah,
okay, because,
library. Yes.
Okay, epigenetics. Okay, there are no genetically transmitted diseases. If you have a doctor who says, oh, you got a lot of genetic disease in your family, so we got to deal with that, you have to excuse yourself and find a different doctor, because the doctor is admitting, he's saying, I know nothing here, so I'm going to blame it on your genes, okay? And so there are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no diseases that are autoimmune, where your body's attacking itself. You know, even things like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and irritable bowel syndrome. If you ask Siri, show me a list of all the autoimmune diseases in each organ system in the human body, you'll get a list of about 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 in each organ system. Okay, because everything the doctors don't know, they blame on autoimmune. Your body's attacking itself. That translates in English to, I have no earthly idea what's going on here, so I'm going to blame you. That way I don't have to plead ignorance.
Yeah, I just got a new medical doctor, and she's already giving me the speech of high cholesterol and diabetes and all of that. And
have you heard? Rob, yeah. You have to introduce her to the science of crapola.
Doc, we had quite the conversation with our preliminary meeting already, so she has an idea. I already mentioned you and your history as well too, and we're working with I'm working with you and Shar and that, and so this is going to be educational for her as well too. So
that's an important thing. If we can educate her and bring her along to where she's up into the 21st century here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know me, I'm trying to change the Canadian medical, healthcare system. So
okay, I'm going to stop there. Stop there for a minute, Rob.
Yep.
Have you listened recently? I'm going to repeat that. Have you listened recently to the CD, What Kills Billionaires?
I have not heard that. No.
Okay, now that one was recorded in Canada.
Okay.
Okay, there was 2,000 people at that meeting, and half of them were Canadians and half of them were Americans. And when you hear the audience responding to my various statements and everything, you know, when it came to things that were, they'd ask questions about autoimmune diseases and genetic disease and everything, and I'd tell them the truth, and it was not autoimmune, not genetic, it's this nutritional deficiency. I mean, these audiences would freak out. Now, that CD is part of the trilogy that's in the CD set, There's a New Bull in Town. Okay, Dead Athletes Don't Lie, Exercise on Supplementation, Suicide, and then What Kills Billionaires. And I went back and I listened to it because, you know, I hadn't listened to it in a couple of years. And I went back and listened to it, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, I should have been pushing this for the last 5 years, okay? Because it's very, very clear that, you know, relatively well-educated and experienced people in the Canadian and American communities were just flabbergasted at getting the information. Now, this was a live presentation that I did in Canada. And in fact, Shar was in the audience, and I was asking her questions. So she was giving answers. And Shar, of course, is a high school graduate.
Mhm.
She knew more than the medical doctors that were there in that meeting.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah. So I found the 9 or 10 pounds that Becca lost. So I'm gonna have to work on that. So yeah, Beck, I found your weight. I picked it up for
No,
you.
I didn't lose it, Rob.
Oh, okay.
I let it go. I
Oh.
released it. I
Well, I
don't want
found
it
it.
back. You were not supposed to find it.
I found it. I don't want it. I want to get rid of it now. So I'm working on that. So I'm gonna have to get
You know, don't forget our keto shake. Don't forget our keto shake. It's a meal replacer.
working
How
on
many
that.
meals a day, Rebecca? How many meals a day do you recommend to take the keto shake?
Well, it depends. If you're doing our Keto 90 Kickstart program and you're just getting started, we use intermittent fasting also. In that first 3 days, you are doing 3 liquid meals. 3 of them are a keto shake. 1 of them is our keto hot chocolate, which is absolutely amazing.
I
And then
wanna try
using our
that, yeah.
detox tea. But once you get out of that first 3 days, then you're replacing 2 meals with a keto shake. You get closer to your goal, you just replace 1.
Okay, now I have
So
to
I
start
love the
some
fact
weight-
how easy they are and they taste good.
Yeah, I have to do some weight training now too. So will this help me with building muscle too?
Yes,
Well,
and
it's
you have to
gonna give you the
remember,
amino acids.
I'm going to throw something in here, Rob. You have to remember that exercise without supplementation is suicide. So don't just think you're going to exercise that weight off. You need the keto shakes. You need the 90 essential nutrients.
Mhm.
Get a hold of that there's a new bull in town. You need the Rebound. Okay, in addition to the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and the keto shakes. I mean, losing weight could be dangerous.
Yeah.
We talked about this, Dr. Wallach.
So
We
I'm
talked
in the
about
method where I have to start building muscle back in that too. So I'm working on that. I'm on the 215 essential nutrients plus. So yeah, I feel absolutely fantastic. I just have to get off my Christmas weight now and continue with my healing. My neuropathy is basically gone away now. So your recommendation to increase my selenium, my ultimate selenium, has been working out fantastic. So I'm at 210 right now. So yeah, I got more than 10 to lose, but
Are you eating your 3 eggs twice a day?
I ran out of eggs, so I have to get more eggs now. So I'm trying to get backyard chicken so I can grow the ultimate chicken eggs as well too.
Well, don't wait until you do that. You buy them from the store.
Yep.
So you can grow your own.
Yeah, Becca, you were talking about a egg substitute before. I forget what that was.
So we have the I-26 hyperimmune powder,
Right, that's it. Okay.
which is made from organic non-GMO eggs. It's a powerhouse. So that's something, and that's another thing that Dr. Wallach and I have talked about is, when food shortages are happening,
Yeah.
this is something you definitely want to be taking even before the food shortage happens. I don't know why I can't say that word, but have it in your storage so that you can continue to get at minimum per dose 25% of the recommended cholesterol. And this is the good cholesterol, folks, the stuff that supports your brain, the stuff that the myelin sheath of your vagus nerves is coated with, created
In your
from.
brain.
Yeah.
And the brain.
There's only
And-
one good cholesterol.
And we say this right on the label, Rob.
Yeah.
Contains 25% of your daily requirement of cholesterol. You
Mhm.
require cholesterol. It makes up 25% of your brain weight, 25% of your spinal cord weight.
Yep.
You need cholesterol. Do
That's
not,
right.
okay, do not okay. Now, I only have 2 big meals a day plus kind of a snacky lunch. My snacky lunch is a banana, 2 or 3 of those little Baby Bell cheeses, and 2 of the chewable I-26s.
Oh, great. Okay, I'm going to look into that. Great. Thanks, Becca. Thanks, Doc.
You're
For my
welcome.
weight now, Doc, how many MSM should I be taking? I'm at 210 right now.
You should be taking 3 times a day. It's 2 bottles a month.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Good to hear from you.
Okay,
Thanks, Rob.
thanks,
Well,
Becca.
and
yeah.
let me share a little bit more about that I-26 hyperimmune, Dr. Wallach, because
Go for
it
it.
comes in a powder that you can mix with water. It reminds me of the shell of like a cream puff or an eclair. It does not have a bad taste at all. You can also get it in capsules, and then the chewables come in 2 different flavors. So there's the vanilla and there's a banana.
Woo-woo.
I like the vanilla, and you do not want to take it within 2 hours of eating regular eggs. So the antibodies in regular eggs that you would cook and the antibodies that are in the I-26, you don't want to confuse them. So take them totally separate from each other. Okay,
Yes.
let's go to Norma, Dr. Wallach. Norma, go ahead and unmute. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Norma.
Good morning, Dr. Walla. I'm glad to have the opportunity to be here and see you at least by Zoom. I miss you all. You
Okay.
meet on live.
Where
But-
do you live, Norma?
I met you down here in Laguna Hills, California.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to be there and then
Yeah.
meet
Okay, I remember. How can we help you today?
Well, I'm gonna try to make sure my question. I have a customer. He's been lately after this has happened after COVID. After he had a COVID 14 months a month. 14 months ago, he recently he's been having noise on his ear, but it's all day long.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's see, Rebecca, what's going on here if this guy's got tinnitus ringing in the ears?
Well, the tinnitus ringing in the ears is causing an inflammation and also osteoporosis of the skull that's squeezing that
8th cranial
audictic
nerve.
nerve,
Yeah.
the 8th cranial nerve.
Yeah.
See, you've got me going in so many different directions. I haven't had the chance to memorize each cranial nerve and what they're for yet.
You're doing very well. And so how old is this guy, Norma?
He, I put it in the chat. I think he's hold on. Ay, give me one.
I have it here. So Dr. Wallach, he's 43 years old, 170 pounds.
Okay. Yeah. And he's one you want to ask how many times he wakes up at night to urinate. Does he wake up 3 times a night, 5 times a night, 10 times a night? Because you want to find out if that skull is squeezing the spinal cord. Okay. And but when you have tinnitus ringing in the ears all day, and again, can you show that picture again, Rebecca, of the normal skull?
Yep, I got it right here.
Okay. The normal skull is 1/4 of an inch thick. The skull with osteoporosis and is, there you go, 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And you can see where that skull that's 2 inches thick can be squeezing all those tunnels that the 12 pairs of cranial nerves are going through and the spinal cord is going through. And that's why he's got all these symptoms. He's got to, thank you. Okay, and he weighs how much, you say? 170 pounds? Okay, so I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. He needs to be taking 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose everything twice a day. He needs 2 bottles of the MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, at dinner time. It's going to help rebuild the bones, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes bone itself, including the bone marrow, which produces white blood cells and red blood cells and platelets and antibodies and all that kind of stuff. And then he needs the collagen peptides, a scoop of that with his morning drink, scoop with his evening drink. And I also want him to have the vitamin D3, even in California, because usually people who are a little older, they sit in the shade and watch the kids play out in the sun. Okay, so he needs to be taking the vitamin D3 twice a day. And it wouldn't hurt for him also to have the Synaptive. He could take 3 Synaptive twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I do that. It's, you know, in addition to all that, I take about 75 tablets, pills, and capsules of secret sauces twice a day, in addition to all this other stuff we've already mentioned, you know, all the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and the Rebound. But I also take all these secret sauces. I mean, I probably take more nutrients per pound of body weight than any other human being on earth. Okay. and it pays off. It pays off. And so that's my priority, is to take as many of these nutrients as I can. And I have witnesses, okay? And they go, so do you take that? I take all this stuff every day. I've been doing it for, for like 75 years. How's that work for you?
Okay, Dr. Wallach. Let me repeat it if I have everything.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, this is
the-
recorded. So if you have to, you can come back and listen to it again and again. And of course, our telephone number is toll free, so you don't have to pay for the call. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Norma.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
All right, thank you, Norma. And again, for everybody that is on this, if you want to watch the replay, go to AskDocLive.com and you will find the replays of our programs there since we started back in July of 2020.
Wow.
Let's move right on, Dr. Wallach, because we have several hands and questions. Let's go to Pauline. Pauline, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Good morning, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, ma'am. How can we help you?
Yes, my name is Pauline. I'm a very tiny person, never been over 100 pounds, and I'm 58. My height is 4 feet, 10 inches. And my concern has always been digestion. I've also been diagnosed with osteoporosis too. So.
Okay. How many times a night do you wake up to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times?
No, I don't wake up.
Okay, good. Good. Okay. And then do you have joint pain? Do you have pain in your knees and your hips and your back and your neck? And
my hands, my
hands.
fingers.
Okay.
No pain, but bothersome.
Okay. So you wouldn't call it pain. You just say you're aware of what's going on.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No.
Okay. Do you ever get sleepy an hour after you eat dinner? Or you go to, been watching TV with your family and you fall asleep on the couch?
No.
Okay, good. Okay.
Lately, I've been having like the sense of taste is off. It's not the same.
I'm sorry. You say recently you have what?
My taste has changed now. Recently, I had I guess bloating and
Okay, digestion stuff. Okay.
Digestion is.
Okay. So what I want you to do is get rid of all the bad foods. Okay. This is paramount. This is for everybody. Everybody must get off the bad foods. Even if you don't have any sicknesses, get off the bad foods, then you won't get the sicknesses. Okay. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no salad dressing, no cooking oils, absolutely no gluten, no wheat, no butter, rye oats, no buckwheat. Okay. No sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go because the carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot efficiently absorb minerals and digest food. Paramount. Okay. Then you say you're about 100 pounds. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, 100 pounds. I'd have you take one healthy brain and heart pack per month. Take a half a dose of everything twice a day. Get 1 bottle a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. I want you to take 1 scoop of the collagen peptides at breakfast, 1 scoop of the collagen peptide at dinner time in your drink. And then, let's see here. I also want you to take the Synaptive, take 3 of those twice a day. There's 2 bottles a month. Okay, so all your nerve connections and everything, or all that kind of stuff is working. Let's see here. Oh, and the digestive stuff, we have the ultimate enzymes. Go ahead and take the ultimate enzymes at your body weight. You could take 1 or 2 of those, say 5 or 10 minutes for each meal with a couple ounces of water. And that's going to help you with your digestion, but also getting rid of all the bad foods is going to help you with your digestion because your intestines are supposed to look like a shag rug. The lining of the intestines has all those little finger-like villi, looks like a shag rug. When you're eating gluten and buckwheat, those finger-like projections go away. And now instead of looking like a shag rug, your intestines look like a plastic tube. You've lost 98% of your absorptive surface. So all this stuff is going on in there that shouldn't be going on in there because you cannot absorb the food. Okay, and so that's what's going on. And so give us a call every 2 weeks because you're going to have a good story and people are going to know, hey, what's going on? Okay. What's going on with Pauline? All right.
Okay. Sounds good.
So
I'll
let's
do
hear
that.
from you, say in a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, but don't wait too long. Let us hear from you so we can walk you through this, okay?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Watt.
You bet. God bless.
All right, thank you, Pauline. And Dr. Wallach, if I may add, the
Please.
essential clary sage, the essential oil clary sage has been shown to help with calcium absorption. I like to add it to my CM cream.
Okay,
And then
A
you
couple of
can
drops,
rub
you're
it.
talking about a couple of drops, there's a couple of drops.
Yeah, so in the 2-ounce container of
I will look
CM
it up.
cream.
I'm gonna look it up and I'll post it or let you know.
Okay, so Ruth Ellen is going to make sure that we're getting the right ratios as far as the clary sage is to that 2 ounces of CM cream.
Mhm.
So I also like to I do 4 drops of clary sage in my Epsom salts, and then I'll soak in an Epsom bath because I had such bad osteoporosis of the skull. And it's not the skull. I mean, it's everywhere.
Well, yeah, when you have
People-
osteoporosis, it's not just your shoulder, it's not just your hip, it's not just your skull. When you have osteoporosis and it's diagnosed in any bone, in your index finger, if you have osteoporosis diagnosed in your index finger, it's in every bone in your body, you have osteoporosis.
Yeah. So the more that we can do to help support the body and its absorption, but digestion is paramount, and making sure that you get a form of calcium like what we have in the FX product and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine product, with those essential cofactors that help for the best optimal absorption possible. So
That's correct. Don't
Yep.
forget, be prepared. Don't wait till you're sick. That's where people make so many mistakes. Well, I'm okay, I don't need to do anything. No, this is the value here. Be prepared. That's the motto of the Boy Scouts, okay? Be prepared, prepare, okay? And if you exercise, which everybody should, I mean, I walk close to 3 miles a day. I take 3 routes around the house a day, 1 backwards to make Rebecca happy because she wants me to do 1 backwards so that I'm getting all my muscles. So I'm going right twice, I'm going left once, kind of thing. Okay. And so don't forget what kills billionaires. If something can kill a billionaire, they can kill an average person. If you can prevent diseases as a billionaire, that same protection of a billionaire can be used by you and me. Okay. So don't forget the CD, What Kills Billionaires, is one of the 3 CDs in the set. There's a new bull in town. And what, a great gift to give somebody you love. Anytime there's a present due, we're talking about weddings, we're talking about births, we're talking about promotions, we're talking about having new babies, we're talking about birthdays, we're talking about holidays. Give this information, give these nutrients, give them, some Rebound. Do something that's going to be a positive for them. Just taking them out for dinner is kind of a nice social thing, but do that. Don't stop doing those things, but also give them something that's going to add 25 to 50 healthy years to their life.
absolutely. And Dr. Wallach, you gave me a great idea. Instead of just walking the opposite direction, walk backwards.
I'll have to put a rear view mirror on my wall.
Yes, we're going to do it. We're going to do
Okay.
it.
Okay,
Well,
let's do
and
it.
Verna has a really good question in regards to the clary sage. She wants to know if you can spritz clary sage mixture on the skin for absorption of calcium. And yes, I love to mix colloidal minerals, our plant-derived minerals,
Mhm.
with essential oils and create a grounding spray. Spray it on the bottom of your feet.
Oh,
When you spray it on the bottom of your feet, your vessels are so close to the surface that it then gets into your bloodstream quickly
Mhm.
and gets distributed. Now, Ruth Ellen, share with us some more information about clary sage.
Okay, so there's different dilution rates for different people. So in a 2-ounce container, if it's an elderly person that's frail, it's 4 to 8 drops. If it's children, let's just go with, doesn't make sense.
Is it going
there,
by
okay.
weight or is it going by health concerns.
So 12 drops would be for a normal person. So children
So
and
12
frail. Mhm.
Okay, so 12 drops of clary sage and a 2-ounce container of CM cream
Right.
would be a good dilution for applying this clary sage mixed with the CM cream. Now,
Yes.
with other carriers, including the plant-derived minerals, would
It's
it be
the
the
same.
same dilution?
Yes, because I'm going by the dilution chart.
Okay, so you've got a 2-ounce container of plant-derived minerals in a little spray bottle. You put in the 12 drops unless you are working with or applying to somebody that is elderly and frail, and then it's only 4.
Yeah.
So essential oils are powerful in helping us to provide additional support for the body, but they do not take the place of supplementation through the 90 essential nutrients. I just want to make sure that there's lots of clarity there, because there's a
And you can-
lot of alternative modalities. But folks, we're not alternative modality deficient, we're nutrient deficient.
And you can also rub it to the bottom of the feet and it'll absorb in the body in like 3 to 4 seconds.
Yeah, let me tell a
So-
little story there, if I may, real quick. Remember that story about Pastor Mike Freeman up in Baltimore, Maryland? He was in a coma for 6 months in a hospital, and the doctors notified his wife and Linda Tyler, one of our great distributors up there in Baltimore, Maryland, and said, look, he's only got hours or days at the most to live here. This is after 6 months, he's at the end of his string. And so if you want to say goodbye to him, and with the possibility of him hearing it, you need to do it now. And so she calls me up and says, Doc, do we have anything we can do for him? I said, well, yeah, we need to get, the minerals into him. Does he have a G tube where we can just squirt this into a G tube and it'll go into him? No, they're pulling his IV even. You couldn't even put it in his IV because they're pulling his IV because he only got hours or a day or so left to live. Okay, so what I want you to do is get our liquid plant minerals, just a liquid mineral, not cherry mints, but the liquid plant minerals, and put a teacup full of the plant minerals on his back, between his shoulder blades and his lower back, on his chest and on his belly, 2 or 3 times a day, and using a cotton ball. Okay, and then let's see what we can do. Well, in 3 days' time, Pastor Mike wakes up. Now remember, he's been in a coma for 6 months. Okay, so he wakes up, he shaves, he goes to his church studios where he has his TV station and his radio station, and he tells the story. We have the DVD and the CD he made. It's called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. If you're in the military, you know what that means. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Okay, but in this case, it's Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. And we have a steady stream of people buying that set, the DVD and the CD, because this is something that even just putting it on your skin, you absorb it. Okay, and it's one of those things. If you're in a hurry and oh gosh, I forgot to take it this morning in my supplements. Well, just take it with you and put it on your belly, while you're sitting at your desk working on your computer. Okay, and you'll absorb it within minutes. And of course, that holds true in our baby formula too. Okay, it's called Kids Toddy. We have all the nutrients in that except the EFAs. You got to add the EFAs to it. But the Kids Toddy, it can be a meal replacer or a meal additive. Okay, so we have all this stuff in these liquid minerals. But praise the Lord and pass the 90. I just love that story, Pastor Mike Freeman.
Yeah, that is a great story, Dr. Wallach. And I do want to make sure that people understand that it's not a meal replacer, it's a meal addition with the Kids Toddy or any of the supplementation, because it doesn't have the protein and the fats that the body needs.
That's correct.
To be able to sustain life. We get lots of food. I mean, lots of carbohydrates, opportunities of carbohydrates, which the body needs also. But it's those proteins and fats that are going to allow the body to have lots of energy and support muscle. Let's go to Lisa, Dr. Wallach, who has her hand up. Lisa, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach. I'm glad you found that virtual hand.
Yes, I finally found it. Okay, I am 62, 5'3.5" and about 101 pounds. And I got COVID in October of 21, and I'm okay, but my body has not been the same as it is, in the sense of I feel like I have inflammation. I was getting the hair loss. Things got better, but it's still, I don't feel the same like I used to. Didn't take the vaccine. I'm not into vaccines.
Okay, now,
Never had the flu shot ever.
okay, do you have any other issues? Do you have ringing in your ears or balance
I
problems?
do have a little hissing in my ears, and I've had that before. And I
Comes
did,
and goes.
yeah, it comes and it goes. I don't wake up at night to urinate once in a great while. I can sleep, but I'm getting like tingling in my bottom of my feet, and I've had swelling, and I've been taking turmeric, and that kind of helps, because then it, it goes away. So I don't take any vitamins right now. So I'm
Okay, well,
probably,
here's the deal.
okay.
You say you weigh 101 pounds, right?
Yep.
Okay, now you may have osteoporosis of the skull,
Mhm.
okay? And you have the tingling in the feet. It could be simple sciatica or just a low back problem, or it could be osteoporosis of the skull. Either one be the same approach. And so I do want you to get rid of all the bad foods. That's something that everybody has to do. Everybody has to do it, especially if you don't have any problems. Now's the time. Get off all the bad foods now. Don't wait until you have a problem to get off the bad foods. No bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then at 101 pounds, I want you to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day, one bottle a month of MSM, so you can take 3 twice a day. And that's going to help you rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone mix, bone itself, including the bone marrow. That's going to support your immune system. That's going to support your skull. It's going to support your disc between your vertebrae, all that kind of stuff, all the tendons and ligaments in your body. Then I also want you to take the collagen peptides, take 2 canisters a month of that, so you can take a scoop with your morning drink, a scoop with your evening drink. And then you need the vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. There's 2 bottles a month, so you can absorb stuff and put them all in the right places. And then I also want you to have our synaptive, anything that's going on with the cranial nerves, and tinnitus, that hissing or ringing in the ears, called tinnitus, is causing squeezing the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. Okay, and so you want to do that. And then don't forget to get a hold of that book and the CD. It's all in your head, and so you can show pictures of the normal human skull and the human skull when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And doctors know nothing about this. You can ask your doctor and they'll laugh at you and they'll say, well, where are you getting that stupid stuff? There's never been a report of osteoporosis of the skull, because they always keep thinking of the hips and the knees, because they want to do double knee replacements, double hip replacements, and amputate your legs and give you artificial limbs and all this kind of stuff. Now you have to appreciate, I'm going to throw a figure at you here, okay, because I've given you what I want you to take, but this figure is very important. Now, when it comes to how much money is spent to deal with symptoms, when you deal with the symptoms of arthritis and osteoporosis in humans in the United States, just deal with the symptoms, not to prevent or cure it, you're talking about $3 trillion a year, $3 trillion a year, $626.8 billion a year just to treat the symptoms of joint osteoporosis, which is called arthritis. And then you're talking about when you have osteoporosis, just treating the symptoms in America, in adults, okay, you're talking about 2.3 trillion. So you add the 626.8 billion with 2.3 trillion, you're looking at $3 trillion a year we're spending treating the symptoms of arthritis and osteoporosis in adult humans, okay? And that's why so many doctors want to be orthopedic surgeons. That's why so many doctors want to be orthopedists. That's why so many doctors, when they get into general practice, suddenly now they all kind of veer towards attracting as many people as they can that have bone and joint problems, because that's where the money's at, okay? And we can get rid of all those problems because none of them are genetic, none of them are autoimmune. All of your joint and bone problems are nutritional deficiencies. There's no autoimmune diseases. Even rheumatoid arthritis is not an autoimmune disease. Rheumatoid arthritis is very simple. It's an infection with a bug called mycoplasma, okay? And on top of a nutritional deficiency, arthritis. You take our healthy bone and joint pack, you take the minocycline, which will kill the mycoplasma. And I don't care if you've had rheumatoid arthritis for 40 years, and give me 90 days, and usually in less than 90 days, it'll be gone.
Okay. It is, sometimes this is being blamed on like long hauler,
Mhm.
COVID. Could there be spike protein stuck in there? I mean, I didn't take any vaccines, didn't believe in
Yeah.
that.
Okay, well, see, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
Remember, the doctors are trying to explain what's happening here in a way that you have to go visit them for an office visit and get a prescription and do all this kind of stuff. They're gaming the situation. Okay.
right.
Okay. And so when you have something they're calling long haul, that usually means you're nutritionally deficient and you have all these things going on, and just taking a painkiller will give you some relief. But this stuff going on might get worse and worse and worse and worse over time because you haven't done anything with the nutrition.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was my thing. If this is going to help with that, because I do eat pretty good. I don't eat any sugar. I haven't
Okay,
eaten
well, see,
years.
tell me, what does eat pretty good mean?
I'm not at the gold standard, but I'm not your average citizen. I don't do fried stuff. I do butter and olive oil. I'll eat organic. I eat more chicken, mostly chicken, some beef, vegetables. And I stopped pop years ago. I drink bottled water or.
Okay, I would stop the olive oil.
Okay.
We do have the EFAs and EFA pluses that are made in nitrogen atmospheres so they don't oxidize. When you have the olive oil, it could be the best olive oil made for kings, but it oxidizes and turns into trans fats, which causes cancer and produces inflammation in all the tissues in the body, including the brain and so forth. And you do want to eat 3 eggs twice a day because you want your brain, you want your brain to work, you want your spinal cord to work, right? You want your peripheral nerves to work.
Two a day.
2 a day, no, that's not enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Then call us every couple of weeks because you're going to have a great story.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Wallach, I have at least 2 questions that I want to get to in our last 15 minutes of the show
Okay.
here. So Shantae she's been working with a mob. She's got 5 little ones. She's 35 years old, 5'7", 130 pounds, and losing weight. And she has severe impaction, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, you're talking
They
about
have tried-
constipation.
Yep, severe constipation. They have tried the herbal rainforest, which did not move it. And she's now been diagnosed with lupus.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing, she and everybody in the household, including the dog and the cat and brothers and sisters and kids and everybody. So there's no cross-contamination in the laundry, the couches, the beds, the rugs, and so forth. They got to get rid of the gluten out of the house. No wheat, no white rye oats, no buckwheat, because that's what's killing your intestines. The gluten in buckwheat is what's killing the intestines and causing her to be constipated. Got to get rid of that. Got to get rid of the cross-contamination. Okay. If she doesn't want to be using public washers and dryers, if people in the house are working in a kitchen someplace and that and the other, and they're throwing their clothes in the washer and dryer, run
Just water.
We'll run just an empty load. Just run an empty load. Just don't put anything in there. Just run the laundromat in the house once, all the soap and everything like that, and get that cleaned out before she puts her clothes in there. Okay, and then she needs to be taking everything we just said. Okay, and then she needs to be making sure that she avoids anything that's going to interfere with absorption. No carbonated drinks. She can also have the Rebound, but the herbal rainforest, if she's not getting any benefit from that, that means she's getting contaminated. So her intestines are so damaged she cannot even absorb herbal rainforest. You got to be kidding me. Okay, so she's getting gluten and buckwheat somewhere. Okay, it's either she's doing it herself or she's getting cross-contaminated by her family or workplace or something. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And the next one, Carrie writes in, Carrie, my thoughts and prayers are with you and your mom. So her mom is currently in a Tennessee rehab center after a 4th heart attack. She has very hardened arteries. She was air vac'd for cardiac center a little over a week ago, or to the cardiac center a little over a week ago. And now they will be advising statins. How can we reverse the clogging?
Yes.
She's 78 years old. She's a very high energy driven person. 5'7", 220 pounds.
Okay, at 5'7", I'd like to see her weigh maybe one for a lady, maybe 160. Okay, so she might be 40, 50, 60 pounds overweight. So I want her to have one of our keto shakes per a meal. Okay. And this is not to add to a meal. This is a meal replacer. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day. She needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose everything twice a day. She needs the 2 bottles a month of the MSM. She can take 3 of those twice a day. Now, the thing that's going to support her blood pressure and support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, and the kidneys and so forth. And then don't forget, she needs the Synaptive, 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. I want to have 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That'll be 3 bottles a month. They're small bottles. I want to have 3 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and healthy blood pressure. She's on blood pressure medication. Do not cold turkey off of it, but as her blood pressure begins to drop, which it will, she can slowly reduce some medication based on the numbers. And I always say within 90 days, it should be gone. But oftentimes, we have people that haven't urinated in 10 years. They're on dialysis 6 days a week. Okay. And in 2 weeks' time on that program, they'll start urinating. So they drop the dialysis down to 3 days a week. And then in 2 more weeks, they're totally off of dialysis after 25 years of being on dialysis and 10 years of being totally on 6 dialysis a day because they couldn't urinate. Okay. And so the body has a remarkable ability to recover when you give it what it needs and stop beating it up with all the bad stuff. And again, you want to listen to that CD, What Kills Billionaires, because this is the sort of stuff that's in there that drove that audience crazy in Canada. Half the audience was Canadian, half the audience was Americans. And I'm telling them these things, and this is like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago when that CD came out. And they were going crazy because they had never heard of such a thing. Okay. And of course, this is what really made me put this CD in with the 3 CD set. There's a new bull in town for people who are athletes and dying. And just, you have somebody like the daughter of this famous singer.
Priscilla Presley. So
Elvis, right?
Anne-Marie Presley.
Yeah.
Daughter of Elvis, yes.
Yeah, she just died at what, 52?
54.
54 of a heart attack. She died at 54 of a heart attack. Do you think she was doing everything right? No, she was doing everything wrong. And I guarantee you she had access to the best doctors who were giving her medication, but nobody was teaching her how to eat properly, how to supplement properly. And so it was the lack of supplementation and eating badly that killed her at age 52.
54.
54, okay?
Okay, Dr. Wallach, let's go to one more question that just popped up. And Ida would like to know, is there a form of Tangy Tangerine or similar product that does not have vitamin K or K2? She said the concern is for a friend with cardio health issues and on medications for blood pressure.
Okay, well, vitamin K2 and vitamin K are essential nutrients, okay? And so why she would not want to have vitamin K?
Well, it's because the pharmaceutical says to avoid them, Dr. Wallach.
Oh, because they don't want them to bleed to death, I'm assuming?
Maybe.
Because they're probably giving her anti-clotting drugs. That's probably what's going on there. And she needs to get advice from another doctor. But no, we have vitamin K in just about all of our multiples.
Yeah, and then she did add on here the concern was about blood clotting. You're so smart.
I don't know that I'm smart, but I've seen a lot of dead people. When you do 32,000 autopsies, and you have all the clinical records from all their lives that come with that, and some are billionaires, some are farmers, some are city folks, some are athletes, some are academics, some are kids, some are adults, some have gender issues, some are straight. I mean, I've done autopsies in every possible community of people you can think of: Asians, whites, blacks. We're talking about males, females, yeah. And this is all written up. These are all published, and this is why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute of Natural Treasure, because they showed that there's no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. There's no autoimmune diseases. And yet doctors keep pushing that, okay, because that's how they game the system. That's how they game the system.
Well, Dr. Wallach, I love the fact that we are able to join forces and empower people.
Even
Be
doctors.
empowered, folks.
Yeah, we can even join forces with doctors if they're prepared to learn something.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Wallach, you had mentioned about, bringing doctors into the 21st
Yes.
century. Well, I'm bringing wellness publications into the 21st century.
Yay.
And something that I'm excited about, and I was thinking about this when Rob was on, who is in Canada, is cost of postage to get anything in or out of the United States is outrageous. So one of the things that we have to look forward to that we're bringing to the website are going to be digital downloads of as many possible of the CDs as we absolutely can. We have a few books that are ebooks that will be available for download as well. And we will be working on additional downloadable options where people can get information instantly, read it right there on their mobile devices, listen to it right there on their mobile devices, wherever you go, and just continue to feed your mind so that you know how to feed your body with information to strengthen, build up, and just be fabulous.
Well, Rebecca, we cannot thank you enough. You're an angel of God bringing us into the 21st century. Cannot thank you enough. All your knowledge and technology and your passion, because you can have this technology and knowledge, and if you don't have the passion to help people, it'll be sitting on the shelf, in the library somewhere, and nobody's gonna have access to it. So we cannot thank you enough. I know you work day and night to get this information out to people, and that's why I say you're an angel of God. And I know you're one of the people who work with the health coaches in such a way that when they want to get into the classes and everything, you're the one that helps make sure that those classes are the best of the best of the best, and everything's working the way it should. I know you're involved in that. You're one of the administrators.
Yep. So I'm actually the student administration manager. So
For the
I
health
love
coaches.
being associated with that as well. And folks, if you're interested in becoming a certified holistic health coach, whether it's for your own knowledge or to build a business, get with your health coach or your longevity associate, ask them about the program. If they don't know the program, even if you are somebody else's distributor, somebody else's customer, you can go to coachwithbecca.com and get information about that health coach certification course, and you remain the individual, you remain the customer, the client, the distributor, whoever introduced you to longevity, but it gives you that information for our certified holistic health coach where you can also enroll. So I just want to make sure people are aware of that opportunity that is available at coachwithbecca.com, because it's an amazing program. We have people from all walks of life around the world, all different education levels, speaking nothing but good things about this course. I mean, I have a surgeon that she's like, I never learned any of this in medical school, Becca. If I would have known this, it may have changed the direction of my career path, because seeing people over, she was a surgeon. She was actually breast cancer. That was her focus. She said when she first started in her theater of surgery, people would come in with 2 or 3 different pharmaceuticals. When she retired, she said they had upwards of a dozen different pharmaceuticals that people were in. And as I have learned, and everything has just made sense through the program and how it's taught with Dr. Wallach's research to back it, she says, I could have done even more good for people in helping to prevent them from having such a high level of occurrence when it came to this. Folks, people really do want information, but they don't know exactly where to find it. So if you've ever been in a position or want to be part of this crusade, get with the person that invited you to this program, respond to the email, and let's make sure that you're getting in contact with somebody that can help you reach your goals at building healthier communities. Now, what time is it? We got 2 minutes. We got one hand that came up, Dr. Wallach. Steve.
Quickly.
Now, I know Steve is one of our health coaches. So, Steve, do you have a question for Dr. Wallach?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hey, Steve, quickly.
A question for you about what you might recommend for somebody that has a herniated disc in his lower back. He's also in a lot of pain. He takes Advil for relief. He's 200 pounds and he's 5'10".
Okay, get rid of all the bad stuff, right? No fried
Yes.
food, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, no buckwheat, no wheat, barley, rice, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose everything twice a day. 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 2 canisters a month of the collagen peptides, a scoop of that at breakfast, scoop of that at dinner time. Then let's see here, vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. And then let's see here. For the pain, of course, we have all the CM creams and all the herbs that go along to put in there and so forth. And then I think that will do it. The disc between the vertebrae respond very quickly. And it wouldn't hurt to ask him, it's a he, right?
Yes.
Yeah, ask him how many times a night he wakes up to urinate, once, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, and see if he has osteoporosis of the skull. Because when you have something going on in your low back and your legs and so forth, the odds are it's going on upstairs in the skull too. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Well, God bless you and thank you for your good work.
Thank you. God bless you. Appreciate it, Dr. Wallach.
All right. Thank you, Steve. And as my co-hosts come on screen with us, we just want to thank all of you for joining us here on Ask Doc Day Live. Man, I knew I was going to get it wrong. Ask Doc Live, which has been brought to you every Friday for 2.5 years, that I have been the hostess of, and I will get it right, Dr. Wallach. But on behalf of myself and our co-hosts, Nasima Omar, Dr. Judy Reynolds, Heather Bowen, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and our digital media master, John T. McCollier, we thank you for becoming empowered, for taking on what you can do yourself at creating healthier communities. Dr. Wallach, thank you again for spending time with us. We greatly appreciate you and all the work that you have done over the last 75 years, because we're going back to when you were 9, okay? But everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see you next week, and new time, new place. So thankful that we had, not new time, but new place, new address, so thankful that we had a lot of people find us. So have a great one, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Becca. Thank you, team. Love you guys. All my
Love you,
hostesses,
Dr. Wallach.
all my health hostesses.
Yes. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye-bye.